Welcome to the Port of Los Angeles, where you will get a look inside the busiest container port in the nation. During this virtual tour, you will see what happens every day at the port and learn some historical and fun facts along the way. A port is where ships load and unload all types of cargo, from food to clothes to toys. These products travel from all around the world, like Japan, China, Germany, Brazil, and Egypt, and make their way through the Port of Los Angeles before arriving at the stores and then to your homes. The container ships that you will see on this tour are as large as 10-story buildings. Most of the containers on these ships are 40-foot containers that can hold about 68,000 pounds of cargo. What does 68,000 pounds of cargo look like? Just imagine. One container can fit enough furniture for a 3-bedroom house, 5,200 soccer balls, or 13,572 iPhones. The port is a major location for global trade, where countries around the world trade goods with each other. The port is the leading seaport in North America based on the number of containers that enter the port. But there is more to the Port of Los Angeles than just cargo. We're sailing by the future home of the San Pedro Public Market. Designed to be an environmentally sensitive and sustainable urban environment, the San Pedro Public Market will be a vibrant, family-friendly shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Plans for the market include 16 acres of restaurants, shopping, fresh markets, office space, and a waterfront promenade with plenty of outdoor space and an open-air amphitheater for live entertainment. On the right is the Southern Pacific Slip, or the SP Slip, where many of the fishing boats sailing out of this harbor tie up. The crews on the boats catch the fish you buy in restaurants and supermarkets throughout the state. The bright coral building is the Municipal Fish Market, where buyers come early in the morning to select from the catch. Sea lions often wait outside to see if they can get some leftovers. We're now passing by the Alta Sea at the Port of Los Angeles. Built on a historic pier at City Dock No. 1 with access to the deep ocean, Alta Sea's 35-acre campus brings people together to expand science-based understanding of the ocean, incubate and sustain ocean-related business, and pioneer new ocean-related education programs. The building block with the water tower is Warehouse No. 1, the port's first major warehouse, which was built in 1915. Today, it is used primarily for warehousing small items and as a quarantine station for animals arriving here to go to zoos and circuses. The water tower atop Warehouse No. 1 has greetings in 13 languages to welcome the ships and passengers on ships from around the world arriving here daily. In front of Warehouse No. 1 is the port pilot station. For safety and security reasons, a port pilot is required to be on board every large ship entering or leaving the port complex. The pilot assists the captain in guiding the vessel because he or she knows the port and its waters better than other mariners. Fun fact: the highest paying job at the Port of Los Angeles is the port pilot. But remember, that kind of pay requires experience. Pilots need more than 10 years of experience and training aboard ships. For some, that starts at the Cal Maritime Academy after high school. From here, you can see the Los Angeles Harbor Breakwater. Can you see that rock wall? The federal government built that big rock wall nearly 100 years ago to keep the waves out of the harbor. Because of the breakwater, ships can come here and unload their cargo in calm water. To the right, or western end of the breakwater, is Cabrillo Beach and Cabrillo Way Marina. Thousands of people use the Cabrillo fishing pier every day for fishing or just cooling off on a hot summer day. Near the beach is the SS Lane Victory, a Victory-class ship that was built in 1945 here in San Pedro. A nationally recognized historic landmark, the Lane Victory served in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. The ship has been a fixture on the LA waterfront since 1990 and is now a living museum and memorial remembering all merchant marine sailors and Navy armed guardsmen. Fun fact: the SS Lane Victory has been featured in several movies and TV shows, including Titanic, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Supergirl. We have to stop by the Green Buoy and say hello to our mammal friend, the California sea lion. These sea lions are known for their intelligence, playfulness, and noisy barking. Male sea lions can reach 850 pounds and 7 feet in length, while females grow to 220 pounds and up to 6 feet in length. At around 5 years of age, males develop a bony bump on top of their skull called the sagittal crest. These members of the oritard, or walking seal family, have external ear flaps and large flippers that they use to walk on land. California sea lions are opportunistic eaters, feeding on squid, octopus, herring, mackerel, and small sharks. At the end of the breakwater is Angel's Gate Lighthouse. This historic lighthouse has marked the entrance to the port since 1913. Mariners entering Angel's Gate are guided by the lighthouse's rotating green light. Fun fact: the lighthouse is so well constructed that it survived a 5-day storm in 1939 that sent violent seas smashing into the building. While the lighthouse leaned slightly toward shore, it still stood tall, even to this day. The large island up ahead is Pier 400, the port's facility for APM terminals, representing the largest shipping line in the world. Dirt was dredged from the bottom of the harbor to make deeper shipping lanes, and that dirt was deposited within a perimeter of quarry rock from Catalina Island to make Pier 400. This state-of-the-art terminal is 484 acres, or as big as 3 Disneylands and 3 California Adventures put together. At the southernmost tip of Pier 400, in a protected area, the port has created one of the state's most successful nesting habitats for the endangered California least tern. The least tern is a little bird that can fit right in the palm of your hand, and they lay their eggs in the sand. The area on our right is Reservation Point. This area of the port is under federal jurisdiction. The government has Coast Guard, U.S. Customs, Immigration and Naturalization Service, and prison facilities here. There are currently 7 container terminals at the Port of Los Angeles, including Evergreen, Maersk, and Yangmin. The container terminals provide cargo ships a place to dock and safely unload cargo. In addition, the port is home to passenger and cargo terminals, including cruise, automobile, and warehouse facilities that manage billions of dollars worth of cargo each year. Up ahead, you can see the Everport Container Terminal, which is recognized by its candy cane striped cranes. These special machines were developed specifically for container terminals. Depending upon how and where they are built, they cost between $6 and $12 million each. Locked safely in each of the 20, 40, and 53-foot containers is a variety of cargo, including iPhones, cameras, frozen food, fresh produce, clothing, computers, sports equipment, and even skateboards. Fun fact: the colors of a container represent the different shipping lines that are in business. Here at the port, you'll likely see ships carrying green, brown, pink, light blue, and yellow containers. You are also likely to see white containers called reefer containers at the port. The white reflects the heat, so it is ideal to carry temperature-sensitive cargo like ice cream, meat, or vegetables in them. The Port of Los Angeles is the busiest container port in the nation, moving 9.3 million container units last year, which is the most cargo moved annually by a Western Hemisphere port. Our neighbor Long Beach is number 2, and New York is 3. The ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach combined, called the San Pedro Bay Ports Complex, is the 8th largest in the world. We're now going under the Vincent Thomas Bridge, the official welcoming monument for the city of Los Angeles. It was built in 1963 by the state of California to connect San Pedro and the end of the Harbor Freeway with Terminal Island and Long Beach. The bridge is just over 2 miles long and towers 35 stories above the water. If you are around after sunset, you will see the magnificent blue lights installed on the bridge through efforts of the port and the community. A fun fact: the bridge uses energy-efficient lamps, which is supplied by a solar-powered system and not the power grid. Not only does this make the bridge energy friendly, but it is also wildlife friendly and does not disturb the migratory birds who make the Vincent Thomas Bridge their home. Up ahead is the turning basin, where really long ships, sometimes 1,000 feet in length, turn around so they can be tied up to a berth facing toward the ocean. The ships dock facing toward the open sea in case there's an emergency and they have to move away in a hurry. The turning basin is also the entrance to the West Basin, home to two major terminals, Trepac and Yangmin. The Trepac terminal receives cargo from Mexico, Asia, and the Philippines. The terminal features on-dock rail, allowing containers to go right from the waterfront onto a train. The trains head to downtown rail yards through the Alameda Corridor, which opened in 2002. Trepac is also home to the Port of Los Angeles' only automated terminal, meaning the equipment here is primarily operated by computers. Here at the West Basin Container Terminal, the Port of Los Angeles was the first in the world to plug container ships into clean electrical power while at dock instead of using diesel fuel. The port is working to make sure all its future and current tenants adapt to this technology. USEN, Everport, and the cruise terminal are also plug-in ready. In the future, you will hear about alternative maritime power, or AMP, being implemented at ports around the world, and you'll know it started here at the Port of Los Angeles. Back in 2006, the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach initiated the San Pedro Bay Port's Clean Air Action Plan, the most comprehensive strategy to cut air pollution and reduce health risks ever produced for a global complex. The Clean Air Action Plan implements the latest green technologies, fuels, and equipment at the two ports. This was the first time the neighboring ports have come together to create a unified plan to reduce port-related air pollution. Under this program, the ports developed the Clean Truck program in 2007. Since 2012, all trucks at the Port of LA are required to meet federal clean truck emission standards. Thanks to the Clean Air Action Plan, air pollution continues to drop at the Port of Los Angeles. From 2005 to 2018, harmful emissions at the port dropped as much as 98%. Under the bridge is the Catalina Express Terminal. This is where you can buy a ticket and board a boat or a helicopter to take you to Catalina Island. Next to the Catalina Express Terminal is the port's World Cruise Center. The center is one of the busiest cruise centers on the West Coast, with more than a dozen cruise lines stopping at the Port of Los Angeles. In addition to being equipped with AMP, the World Cruise Center is outfitted with solar panels to be more energy efficient and environmentally conscious. The port is also home to the Battleship Iowa, currently an active museum. The Iowa served in World War II, the Korean War, and the Cold War. It is 14 stories high, 887 feet long, and displaces more than 45,000 tons. Presidents Franklin D. Roosevelt, Ronald Reagan, and George H.W. Bush all boarded the USS Iowa. President Roosevelt even had a bathtub installed. The port continues to transform its waterfront, the LA waterfront, into a premier recreational destination. The entire 8-mile stretch from the Vincent Thomas Bridge to the Federal Breakwater will be a dynamic promenade with landscaping, public art, recreation, and more. Up ahead, you'll see the downtown harbor ship slips, which allow recreational vessels to dock free of charge for up to 4 hours. In a major harbor such as the Port of Los Angeles, fire protection and firefighting services are extremely important. The Port of Los Angeles built the 4 fireboats for the Los Angeles Fire Department with the most modern firefighting technology. Fireboat number 2, the Warner Lawrence, is one of the world's most powerful fireboats. These fireboats ensure that the port and fire department maintain a high level of service for many years to come. As we pull in, we are docking next to the Los Angeles Maritime Museum, which has an interesting history. Before the Vincent Thomas Bridge was built, ferry boats used to carry people and cars between San Pedro and Terminal Island to work in the canneries or on farms. When the bridge opened, the ferry boats and their terminals weren't needed anymore. The ferry building on Terminal Island was removed, but the ferry boat terminal in San Pedro was converted into the Maritime Museum, which tells the fascinating history of ships and the port. Check their website for operating hours and virtual programs. We hope you enjoyed learning about the Port of Los Angeles and the importance of world trade to you and your everyday activities. Visit the port's website at portoflosangeles.org for more information throughout the year. Be sure to follow the Port of LA and the LA Waterfront on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to get the latest on news and special events. Thank you for visiting the Port of Los Angeles.